Good morning. We are looking at Bitcoin testing levels, and I wanted to zip in here for another quick live stream on the 24 hours of Bitcoin. Let's jump right into the scenes here. So we got Bitcoin. It was just coming down with a red candle, really threatening this line. Litecoin's dropping a big red candle. Ethereum versus US dollars dropping a big red candle. And it's right on the edge. I'm anticipating either we're going to see some big blood letting going on here, or this is the moment where it's going to resist it again. It's going to deny this low again. So the reason for this stream is to go through these indicators that I'm watching as this is unfolding, because if it is going to turn and go up from here and resist this, the indicator should be telling us that. So this is all Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and Stellar, all in US dollar format. And looking at the 5-minute views. So all of them are making this crazy top formation, crazy denial of the top formation at the same time. If we go to the 30-minute view and we're comparing all three of these charts, 4 of them rather, this is getting ballistic. You know, it's getting that parabolic move, and it is an up top formation. In that top formation, sort of a shoulder here, there's your head right there. I'm trying to compare it to what's going on with Litecoin, because we can see that we had a high in Bitcoin and we had a high in Litecoin. Then we had a high in Bitcoin, but Litecoin's high was lower. Same as Ethereum at the same time, where we had this highs and then lower highs, and all of them making a top formation. Makes me think it's going to top and come down from here. Let's look at the Bitcoin dominance making a double top. So that would coincide well with Bitcoin pulling back from here, and we would see a trend change in the Bitcoin dominance. This is pretty short term. Let's zoom out a little bit. Hey, the pothead, good to have you along on the chat. I see there are 5 people watching now. This stream isn't the normal format. I am just zooming in for my own studies so that I have this recorded. And I think I'll do more of these just through the day as I'm watching, because I'm watching it all the time, and I may as well record. And I've been keeping it to 1 stream a day, but if there's something going on that's interesting and it fits our trading strategies where we're making decisions, I should be doing a live stream. And I'll keep them to 10 minutes if I can. I can easily go on. No, here we are, Ethereum US dollar. Let's get our indicators showing up underneath. Lots of selling, but less of the lots selling here. So if I'm looking at the on balance volume selling, we had a good dip of it, but less hard on the second bit. So let's go back to the chart and see what it's saying. Less hard on the second bit, so it's resisting it a little bit. But the MACD indicator is not helping us out. It's not staying on a positive histogram here. It's slipping off. So that's not supporting it. Maybe it's because of that candle down. This is the 5-minute view. Zoom out to the 15-minute view now, and I'm trying to see, I'm looking for bullish divergences here. So I'm looking for the RSI to have a step up like this. And we see where that step up is. It's from this low to this low. So that is a divergence there. We do have still a little divergence in the volume traded. And how about our MACD is giving us enough of a divergence that's worthy of paying attention to, just because of the price chart pattern that we're at right now. So I like it in Ethereum. Stepping back to the 4-hour view, it is looking still positive, but the MACD is losing momentum, so that's not helping out. 1-day view, everything's more positive here, where the histogram, the MACD and the histogram are doing good. The on-balance volume is good and getting better, holding steady along here, so that's really great. And the RSI is supporting stronger prices, so the pullback doesn't seem to have a lot of meat and power to it if it is coming right now. Let's go into Bitcoin prices on the same chart. So now we're starting off zoomed out to the 1-day. We're still saying this is strong. Volume is pretty good. RSI is up to pretty extreme overbought territory on the 1-day view. 3-day, we're seeing good volume, pretty good volume here, but it's eased off just in the last couple candles here, in the last 2 12-hour candles. And the RSI has dropped and pulled back. The MACD is still pretty good, though. It hasn't topped out here, although we do see 1 drop in the histogram. And those will usually come a little bit before the crossover. So now we can watch for that crossover as these 12-hour bars unfold. Going to the 4-hour, we see this has already topped and is starting to ease back. We've got this red candle, that red wick as we're going down. So that is more bearish. This is more bearish. All of this here, all three of these now on the 4-hour time frame. And earlier today, it was only on the 1-hour time frame. I think that we saw the negative divergence so hard. This is still looking negative and down, more down to come. It's still not giving me the turnaround, and we're at the 1-hour. Get into the 15-minute, starting to see some potential for it where we have less dumping here. The RSI still hasn't turned around enough to give us a divergence, and the MACD isn't switching to a positive histogram and giving us a crossover. So that's not good right where it is at the moment on the 15-minute bars. And on the 5-minute bars, I'm seeing less dumping going on, a little bit of a green candle there, but no changeover, no strong divergence in the RSI and what have you to give us a backup on that. Now I want to do Litecoin on, where'd it go? Bitfinex, Litecoin US dollar. Also a wicked top formation. Let's clear that off. Go from the 1-day view first. So it has gone from positive, positive, positive to negative. Oh, a little click of positive there just as we're watching. So I like to see that this has turned green from the bottom and crossed over. I like to see the MACD has crossed over and that the RSI is giving us a bit of strength on this time frame. I'm anticipating Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin to do some huge moves, and I'll go to their charts in a second, but first I'm going to continue the scan of these indicators. So I'm looking to see, is this going to hold here? On the 12-hour time frame, still got a good little bit of volume, but not as much as before. So that is a divergence. The RSI is diverging weaker. The MACD is diverging weaker, but crossing over to strength. So this RSI that crossed over to strength is easing off. We are getting less on balance buying as we're zooming in, and we're getting on balance selling. So this is more of a sell signal as we're getting into the 4-hour time, the 1-hour time frame. All right, so the 4-hour time frame wasn't as bearish, but the 1-hour is looking pretty bearish. Go into the 15-minute time frame, and it's starting to look a little less bearish because we have a less strong dump here. The RSI isn't giving us much hope, or help rather, and the MACD indicator is kind of wishy-washy. I'm wanting to know, as we're retesting and retesting on the uptrend, how this is going to set out. So I want to know what these indicators are, and I can go back to these videos at a specific time, say, okay, at this top formation, this is what they were doing. How does that relate to the top formation we're seeing right now as we go into the future? Now, I had mentioned the chart formations and that I'm thinking that Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin are going to go to the moon. And it's these long-term views of the charts that give me that perspective because of what it's done in the past. And I think that there's a lot more interest in the cryptocurrencies through the world's money supply rather than the public who are putting in their hundreds of dollars. Now we're going to be getting the hundreds of millions. And I don't think we are really understand the magnitude of what is coming into cryptocurrencies. So holding and lending as an rather than risky trading is probably a very good strategy for the majority of the population. I think everybody should have a small bit of cryptos in a lending portfolio that they can be like insurance policy. You're insured that if this does what Bitcoin did, you are going to benefit. A no work insurance policy too. So I'm thinking this is going to be blasting off with Bitcoin. We don't have Bitcoin in the background, which I normally do. So we can see relative to Bitcoin what Litecoin has been doing. And I think that they're both going to be doing crazy moves. Here's the weekly view. So Litecoin has came down long before Bitcoin. It's built a bottom formation. This is such a buildup. Certainly, if it breaks these trend lines, it would be a sell signal. All the time when you get these sell signals, they always come at a time that looks like the perfect build-up for a big blast off, and then it turns out to be the place where it failed. And we do have a 1, 2, 3 top formation setting up here, so it is prudent to be watching for the top formation as we are right now, and then anticipate what will the chart look like if Bitcoin goes to $1 million. There's going to be some points in there that chart where we're going up $1,000 in a day. And those are going to be times when there's mass movements of money coming in, not just from the public, probably not at all from the public. So now the determination is, are we going to pull back, and how far are we going to pull back? It looks like it's going to pull back when we're looking at these indicators, and it is a potential top formation. Bitcoin, Ethereum making it at the same time. So we'll watch, and then each day or through the day, I'll do a live stream when things are changing. When those indicators are starting to sweep the other direction, then I'll do another live stream so that we are monitoring them as we go through on these markets. And then on the other live stream, we'll go through the bull market watch. And this is where we're still paying attention to the cryptocurrencies and anticipating that eventually they're going to come to a bottom. We want to track it, and we want to be able to see it coming a long ways away, just as we did before here in December, January, and February. Our trading alerts that are similar to this but more detailed made over 1,200% gains. And the reason we made the 1,200% gains is that it closed most all of its positions in the first 2 weeks of April. So all of these profitable positions, all of these green markets here, it took the profits when the moving averages crossed over and kept the profits. Went mostly entirely into Bitcoin at that time. And so now we're watching again for when does that set up? And we'll be ready for it by watching this, by watching the Bitcoin dominance, so that we see when this dominance peaks out. Let me zoom in on that again. So when we see this double top peaking out and coming down, alts are going to be mooning, and we'll know it. We'll see it coming. We'll also be monitoring the altcoin market cap. So as things are coming back here and starting to pick up, as they're breaking out of this larger down bottom formation, look at the volume coming in here. This is big. So as we're breaking out of this huge bottom formation, the alts are going to be making bottom formations and starting to go up. Then we will want to watch those details. We'll want all of those details so that we know when the bull market is coming in and when it's going out. This is a different study. This is the one I wanted to show. So this is the color coding. It's the simplest version of it. And if you're interested in getting a copy of this, be sure to go to the website, digitalcurrencytraders.com, and sign up for the free chapter on the website. You get a free chapter from my book, and it gives you the entire trading plan that we use for this entire cryptocurrency bull market watch. It really is all you need if you're a beginning trader, if you've been trading in and out too much, and you want to have a way that's a little bit slower and more relaxed and is proven to work. Come and check this out. Be sure to go to digitalcurrencytraders.com and get your copy of the free book. And you can also purchase the whole book if you want and get an 80% off on that deal. Back to the main screen, back to the price charts. Let's go to the 4 and watch as this is actually unfolding. Here we are in the 5-minute bars. Of course, I would prefer that Bitcoin and the rest of them hold here and continue their trend upward. This is as deep as it can go without failing, though. And the angle of assault here, where this has gone flat, is different than this uptrend line. So we had the uptrend line break already, which is the earliest sell signal. And we did that video this morning as this was setting up, and we were talking about that. Now, this turns into, drag this over, this turns into resistance now. So as prices are coming up and consolidating here, all the way up along this line, it's resistance. All the way up along that line for all of these now, that becomes resistance as soon as these supports are broken. So that's it for this chart. Let me go to the chat, actually. I normally would do this stream for 10 minutes and I'm done. It's just a presentation, but if I'm going to switch to doing things that are actually happening, then I'll pay more attention to the chat. And I'm going to change the screen so that the chat rolls up on the screen too, so that we can be there monitoring these things. You're welcome for the videos. I'm good to have you here. What's going on with this Bitcoin drop, Dave? It's just that it's gone up so much. Are we going to get a decent pullback? I think we will get a decent pullback here, and there's no way to know how far the pullback will go, except that we'll be watching for the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and then we'll zoom in underneath the chart. How I think of it is that we're peaking below the hood. So it's coming back because it's just gone on a crazy run up, and it just needs to take a breath, if nothing else. Everything breathes in and out, and the market especially will give it to you and take it away, then give it to you and take it away, and give it to you and take it away. So it's important to take your profits and have that strategy of when to take your profits. We are not just holders, but we are practicing to be traders. So then when you're trading, you have to know when you're getting in, you have to know exactly when you're getting out, so that when it happens, you know what action to take exactly. So on this break, there's a portion of your profits to take. On any of these breaks, all the way along here, you could have enacted that rule. Now that it's broken the 1, 2, 3 top formation and our exponential moving averages have crossed over, we can zoom out, and some traders would just exit right here and consider going short. So you've done your bull thing, you've gone a little bit neutral because you've seen this topping out and the energy changing, and we've seen all of our indicators underneath changing. They're shifting. They're losing momentum as this is happening. So this is a higher high, this is a lower high, this is a lower high, this is a lower high. All of this is losing momentum as this is coming up. So it's telling us already that we should be prepared to get out. This is trading. So now we've traded in and we've traded out. Next thing is to trade short. But like all entries and exits, you've got to have a plan for it going against you and not working. You have to assume it's going to go against you, and assume you're going to get run over by a car if you cross the road without looking. If you assume that, you're going to look both ways twice before you cross the road. Zoom right in on this. And this is the moment where our indicators could, under the hood, tell us that there's going to be a reversal, but I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing all negative here as this is building up. And it's great to cross-reference against the 4 main ones and watch them all making that formation at the same time. They're all coming up. All of the indicators did this at the same time. All of them gave us this short sell signal at the same time. Now, to figure out how deep it goes is only monitoring and watching it now. So we'll see these indicators and we'll watch them on the short time frame. And when they start reversing the other way, then I'll make another video and I'll go live on that and I'll talk about that change. But for now, it would be, this chart says, ease your way into a short position. So if I plan to put on a short position of 1 Bitcoin, I might put on 0.25 of it now. When it proves me correct, I would consider adding on more, like right about now. As it's starting to roll past these critical points, I could be considering adding on more. So my first bit of short could have been on the breaks here as we saw all of that fading and all of these indicators telling us things are fading off. The run up is run out of steam. Then we could say, okay, now it's proven me correct. I've got a little bit of profit. It's come back and retested this, and now it's dumping. Now I can go hammer, and I can go and be sitting here watching it for how short I should go and how long I should be holding this. So hopefully this is helpful. Hit the thumbs up button. Be sure to subscribe. Add it to a playlist. Come back and watch it later when you're studying top formations. And hopefully you've got a chance to go short on this. Now, if we are trading cryptocurrencies, those may be bouncing. And that's what I cover over on the other channel as we go through all the cryptocurrencies. And we're watching for the capitulation bounce over on that other channel. Should I get out or hold? Dave, I can't tell you if you should get out or hold because I don't know the future. All I can tell you is this is the system that I follow, and it gives me those what to do at these specific times. So I'm super glad to be here live on this. And you know what? I never shared this in the in our chat because it just started happening and I started going. There we go. Out to the chat. I'll hang out for a few more minutes and go over more of these indicators as it's fallen. Because there's no way to know if this is going to be a rejected low here and then just a bear trap, but the momentum, the change of the uptrend here, it's all lining up to a sell that is probably going to retrace quite a bit. So if I go back to the 1 year view, clean up all this stuff, get rid of the indicators underneath so that we have just the chart, then it's prudent to do the Fibonacci retracement of the 50% level of the most recent move. So we could have a Fibonacci retracement this way from this whole move from the bottom up to here. And that would give us a retracement to the 50% level, which would be completely normal and not a worry at all unless you're leveraged long over here. And it would come back to these levels and we would watch for it to consolidate and give us another run up. There's no way to know how far it'll come down because we could use Fibonacci's in any different way. We could take it from this top down to this one. Now we have all sorts of different Fibonacci's. We could take it from this top and we could go just down to this area here and give us a different range of Fibonacci. So there's so many different ways you can do it. I try to be as general as possible with that and expect 1/3 to 1/2. And if you see support and resistance at a specific area, it becomes less thinking required to figure that it could go down to those levels. And this is where that support and resistance is. So if we get a heavy dumping, that wouldn't be unexpected. And it wouldn't be changing our bull trend turnaround yet either. It would be normal compared to what we were seeing in 2015. If I pull this chart back, it would be normal according to what we've seen here, where prices come up, they do a pretty good run, and then they pull back and they try again. See, this is a longer time frame. We've got a full day yet, maybe, for this to test and come back. No, probably not. It's going to do a move. It's got the chance to continue to come right back. Look at this, right back to these technical support and resistance levels. And then it consolidates again and we have another chance. So it's the exponential moving average crossovers that get us in and out, those trend line breaks, the 1, 2, 3 top formations, 1, 2, 3 bottoms, trend line break, exponential moving average crossover. And there's a lot of watching and worrying and talking and going on in between things, but there should be very little action in the trading. Hey, Miki Kitano. Good to have you guys along. Just want to get more active on the videos as this is happening, because it's a very clear system, but it takes repetition. You can't shower 7 times on Sunday and stay clean all week. You can't jam this stuff in quickly and learn it all. It's not about intensity of learning. It's about consistency of repetition and being there and being there and being there and being there. Knowing what you're looking for and not acting until you see what you're looking for. Then you're on the path and success is on the way. So this is the part of the process I'm doing this for, is continually being there to watch it. This helps me focus my attention, and then I'm there for these great trades. So recently I was talking about that I thought our current Bitcoin situation was more like May of 2017. The ascending wedge triangle that we were seeing here, the build up, the change of the moving averages here, I thought was more like this area, and that we were going to be going on higher and the alts were going to get crushed. And yet we may not be, because the exponential moving averages have just crossed over. We could be in this area here still. We really could be ready for this capitulation that we had talked about some time ago. So if we go back to the current day prices, Bitstamp, Bitcoin, oh, there it is. There's the, if you are short trading, then you're watching for this and you're using your risk control rules to make sure that you're not holding it if it starts to pump up against you. So this is one of the reasons for starting out with a small bit of a trade here. And then when it proves you right, you can add on. You've got a bit of cushion now. You've got a bit of protection. If it does all of a sudden pump up hard, you can close all of your positions and come out protected against the unexpectable in cryptocurrencies. So now if we do have that pullback that is that we did in 2015, let's turn on the 200 period moving average, and we see that 200 period moving average on the 1 day view. We've crossed it, but it's only just flattening out. Let's go back to 2015. We crossed it. It was only just flattening out. And then we had these moving averages cross and come back. This is on the daily view, so it's a little bit loose for my trading rules. I would be wanting to exit sooner using the 4-hour crossover. And we would watch that top formation and use the 4-hour as our determination. But this is more general for paying attention to the trend of it. And let's go back now to the current time and take a look at these different moving averages compared to the prices. So this is still moving up and still moving apart. It still seems to be accelerating, even though we've come up and we've done a bit of a pull back. 2016. Okay, we can see that after the blow off here, as it came up, it really pulled back. So it did more than just a 50% level in the, well, let's see. Eyeballing it, it's pretty much, it depends where I stretch it, but it's between the 50, yeah, it's down to the 38%. That was a pretty deep move back from here. So if you're long a FOMO at the top, it's a real pain in the butt in the short term, especially if you're trading with leverage. Then you don't have the luxury of holding and sitting it out. You've got to be there. Top formation breaking down. Let's go back to the present now. So what I was looking for is other instances of the big move and what happened right after that. And we're on the 1-day view, so I'm going to stay on the 1-day view. Big move, 60% or more pullback, and then it drove back up. So we're looking for this big move, how it tops out, and what does it do afterwards. Here's a big move and a very big pullback. Here's a big move and a very big pullback. And the pullback consolidated and then pulled back more before the bull run ran up. So the short trading is super fast, and it's never been my favorite thing to do because of the intensity speed that you have to be watching for it. But look at these run ups, they pull back hard. So we could be into the beginning of a hard pullback. And if that's the case, then we have to be watching these indicators to see. Classic pump and dump, it is. It's human nature though. It's the excitement of everybody seeing this pattern, thinking it's going to go forever. You start watching other people's videos about how well they've been doing on their trades, and you get that FOMO, fear of missing out. And then you start buying into it just at the top. So any of these, as it's breaking out, you buy here, you buy here, buy here. All the way along here, we've got a crowd of people who have bought on the breakouts all the way up. So as it's breaking down now, each level, we have a crowd of people who have to give up and give up and give up all the way down. So if it deepens and hits a whole bunch of stops, that rolls it even further, and a whole bunch more people have to give up. And so it happens quickly on the way up, and it happens even sometimes, it does, more quickly on the way down. Up on the stairs, down on the escalator, or down on the elevator, as many traders will tell you. So this short opportunities, as we saw this morning, that's why I did the video when I did, is because of the crossover. The uptrend was broken, the signals were there in our indicators, and I wanted to record it, partly because I'm watching what are the alts doing versus US dollar. Here's Ethereum, Litecoin, and when I see these on the super long-term view, they look like monstrous bottom formations. They're about to go ballistic, just as Bitcoin already did. And I don't think Bitcoin's finished yet. And so I'm thinking these are staging, and they are going to do something spectacular just by these huge bottom formations. And it doesn't mean they will. They could keep going sideways for months. It doesn't mean that they're going to break out, but this is the kind of potential that gives us the opportunity to watch for that kind of breakout. That's when they do happen, if they're going to happen. Another reason I think that Bitcoin hasn't even started yet is if I go to the 5-year view and look at this chart, bring up the on-balance volume and compare that from now into the history, we haven't seen anything yet. The volume hasn't hit us, and we're supposed to get all these institutions that are now going, all this over-the-counter trading that has been switching hands of billions of dollars of Bitcoin. And we're not seeing the big trade volume come in yet. We haven't seen the FOMO. We haven't seen people fearing that they're going to miss out. And I don't have the short and long ratio chart here. It's something I should be having all the time, because it shows that there are still lots of shorts in the market. They haven't been squeezed out to have to close their short positions. They're holding a leveraged short position at a loss and holding it, hoping it comes back for them. And this is also human nature. You're hoping it comes back, and you're hoping in every little hesitation as it drops a bit and you're holding a short position that's gone against you, you can't let go of it, because then you take your loss. If you hold it, you're just paying the interest, right? And it might come back and let you get out at less loss. And so you hold and hold and hold and hold and hold. The thing is, with the short squeeze, when the FOMO and the volume really comes in, then they are not going to be able to hold. They're going to be squeezed until they don't have room to hold anymore, and they're going to have to sell out. When that happens, we're hitting a whole bunch more stops, and the price is going to go straight up. If Bitcoin is going to hit $1 million somehow, somewhere, there are going to be days where it's going up thousands of dollars in a day. There has to be. And crazy. We can't even imagine what the chart would look like if it's going to hit $1 million. The logarithmic chart doesn't do it for us in the long term. Even the logarithmic chart. It's crazy. Yeah, I believe Bitcoin will be six figures too. And I believe Ethereum and Litecoin will be six figures as well. And because of this belief and knowing it's going to happen, that it's going to be long and slow, it's probably a very good idea to be lending out your coin. And for those of you who are not in the United States, you have an opportunity in many different places to do Bitcoin lending. I don't have a link below the video right now, but if you go to Digital Currency Traders in the Learning Center, there is a link to this lending training course. And it's a free course where you can learn about Bitcoin income investing. Learn how to lend Bitcoin without risk. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Japanese yen, US dollar, all sorts of things that you can be lending in these platforms that are amazing to me as I was putting this report together and finding out more information. This is probably the best way for the average guy to be trading and who doesn't have full time to be looking at all these charts. To say I'm going to spend $20 every payday, $50 every payday, I'm going to buy some cryptocurrency and I'm going to put it out for lending and forget it for 5 years. And I'm going to continue working. And at the end of 5 years, I'm going to be a millionaire and I'm just going to cash out. And just keep putting that $50 a payday, $100 a payday into one or the other different cryptocurrency, regardless of the price of it now, regardless of it going up or down $100, $200. Put it out for lending so that you're continually building your Bitcoin. You're always earning, your Bitcoin is earning Bitcoin for you. Now your money is truly working for you while you're doing other things, earning more money. It's fantastic. And I think that in the long term, that's probably the best way to invest for a majority of the people who are approaching cryptocurrencies and don't have the time to be sitting here watching for these moments, to be looking under the chart all the time at the indicators and say, oh, look, there's a divergence building. Here it is. This is time to take an action. That's takes quite a bit of attention and time, as you guys know. I think it should be up more, 8K to 10K, and then back to 5 or 6K. I did a prediction a while ago where I was saying much the same thing. And all I did was the simple Fibonacci and said, okay, here's where we've been. Where are we going? It just matches up so perfectly to $9,400 and so perfectly to 1120 that, okay, the support and resistance is there. And it did it within 1, 2, 3 weeks. This was 2 or 3 weeks. We are at, we could be 2 or 3 weeks away from these kind of prices, $10,000 to $12,000. And it could be. The world is ready for it. It could be. And yet, that doesn't matter. Our job as a trader is to limit our losses. That's it. The market's job is to tell us how correct we are. So our job is that very beginning of a trade, deciding when to get into it, Once we're into it profitably and you set your stop loss to protect your position, your job is finished. You don't have any work anymore. Now it's the market's job. And if you start taking over, telling the market how far it should go and when you should take profits, you're probably not going to make as much money as you should have, or you could have. Let the market do its thing. And that's a whole different set of parameters that you can adjust according to your personality, your personal situation. You know, how close do you have these exponential moving averages? When does the crossover trigger you? So for example, I want to not be triggered on those top formations except for a sell on a very short-term position that I close and I put back into Bitcoin, and that's it. I just leave that Bitcoin sitting there. For my main trading, I trade with the 12-hour bars, and so my signal came in here as it crossed over, and there was another add-on signal here, and then there's nothing for me to do. It's important that I do nothing, and I let this have the time to have the volatility and come back. And so I'm not counting on this main trade. I'm not counting this as a place to get out. I'm not actually counting this as the profit I will earn. I'm waiting for the top formation, and on the other side of the top formation, that's when I'll take off my position. And the top formation has to be big enough that it makes my exponential moving averages cross over on the 4-hour time frame. So this has to do something pretty big in order to give me my stop. It has to do something massive in order to get these two exponential moving averages to cross over. So it gives me time to watch. And after practicing it for such a long time, then I don't even, I do mini trades in between. As my main trade is pulling back, now I do a mini trade, a mini short trade on this, and watch it and take the trade off if it's not working and continue on from there. But especially when we're watching all four of them make that same formation. Let's go back to the 30-minute view in each of them. All right, so this is a market we were watching earlier in our Discord chat. I think there is a link down below if you are wanting to chat about this trading system with the guys who are trading this trading system. Come on, join us on our Discord chat, and we'll talk through the system over and over again throughout the days as it's occurring. So I posted this in our group saying, here's that divergence where we've got lower highs, but Bitcoin in the background had higher highs at this time. So I was figuring this is premonition, pre-telling us that weakness is coming in, and that Litecoin was doing it at the same time was just great confirmation. Nice to see this all unfolding as the charts were telling us. Now we'll watch for a different story. We'll watch for the story to change now. So, if you've got any more questions about Bitcoin prices, anything you want me to take a look at, we can do that. But later today, I'll be streaming live on the Intro to Cryptos channel, and we'll go over all of the altcoins to see if we are coming up to capitulation lows. We'll take a look at Bitcoin dominance again. We'll watch this top formation. If this is pulling back and we see altcoins starting to build in their altcoin market cap and taking off from here, breaking out of these highs, then I'll be really looking seriously at the bottom formations in altcoins and be taking the Bitcoin that I have and putting it back into those altcoin positions. But for now, the altcoin positions are definitely watch and wait. Have I got any links for the Bitcoin lending? Let me put that into the chat since I do have it here. digitalcurrencytraders.com/lending. And the free training is on the homepage of digitalcurrencytraders.com. Right there. Very good. And there she goes. More downside. So I just love seeing the indicators, the chart formations, everything all lining up. You take the formation, you take the trade because of the formation, and away it goes. And it's one thing of, let's see, where is that now? Here we go. Send Crypto, who's got a really good channel on cryptocurrencies as well. He wrote a comment below this video, and I saw that this morning. He says, almost 4 years ago today, Sunday, March 2000, from Sunday, 2000, March, Anyway, I love your old videos, he says. You are pretty consistent. My trading methodology was actually put together in 1994 to 1998. And it's essentially unchanged. A little bit of adaptation to it, a little bit of improvement to tightening up the where to exit and when to get in and how to use the risk control rules. But essentially, it's the same trading system. And it's astonishing how it works on these charts for cryptocurrencies. It's just done so fantastic that I'm super excited to share it. There's no limit to it. Like, all of us can be doing this, and it doesn't take away from how much I can achieve. In fact, I achieve much more by doing these live streams, and just keeps me sharp, constant, watching, so that I can be doing a live stream that makes a difference and proves out this trading system. Every time there is that example of the trading system, and it unfolds, and you can say it before it unfolds. Hey, this is what's going to if this unfolds, here's how it's going to go. This is what I'm going to do. Here's how I'll play it. And then you just play it out. It's wonderful. And you can always drop by our Discord chat if you've got any questions about this exact trading strategy. We've got a bunch of people now who have been doing this for a couple of years, and some people who are pointing out chart patterns to me that are just exactly what we're looking for. Next, I'll stream on the other channel, and we'll go over the cryptocurrencies and watch for the capitulation lows, and there could be some really great bounces going on right now. Oh, well, not so much, a little bit, but mostly over on Binance right now. We're still in dive central. We'll have to dig into these and see what kind of formations we have. Some of these were really good the other day. So thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate you being here. Good luck in all of your Bitcoin trading. Hopefully this has been helpful for you and makes a difference. All the best, and we will see you soon. Thanks again for being here, John Smith and S4 Sherigan. S4 Suki Sherigan. I love trying to read people's names out. Someone better. Where do I see Litecoin going? I'm sorry, I didn't see your question. I will answer it before I go. Where do I see Litecoin going? Bitfinex. Litecoin US dollar. 5-year view. I see Litecoin going to $800 US in the next 12 to 18 months. And I see Bitcoin going to 60,000 in the next 12 to 18 months. And it's not going to be smooth. There's going to be some real hell as it's going up and down. So really, the lending strategy, buy it, lend it, buy it, lend it. Just keep lending it. Just compound that lending. This is the most amazing thing, that you can lend it out for 2 days, and then you get their money back, and you can put that your interest into compound and loan. And Bitfinex, they pay you interest for every 15 seconds that your money is lent out. It's crazy. And then you can compound that. And when you do the calculations on that, check out that free report. It's just astonishing. It's astonishing that it's not a core part. It should be like 60% of your crypto pie. 20% should be some sort of trading where you're speculating like this on short trading when it's possible. And then you should have another percentage of your pie that is all sorts of those low market cap, phenomenal technology, could change the world projects where you put $20 to $50 into each of them. Because if you put $20 into Bitcoin back in 2011 when it was $1, it sure turns out to be pretty amazing now. And so if Bitcoin has done that, I don't want to be left short if others are going to do that in the future. I want to have $20 of all of them as my insurance policy. And whichever ones I can be lending, I want to be lending them out, because I'm looking at this for a 3 to 5 year plan and not trying to jump in and out, in and out, in and out as much. That's why I use the 12-hour bars. So Litecoin, now that's really helpful for me to say $800, but what about tomorrow? Let's zoom in. Litecoin, it's making that top formation. It's at the same time as Bitcoin making a top formation. And if I look at the indicators, we've had a divergence from the RSI looking weaker as this is building up all the way through. So it's telling us that it's losing momentum. It's losing momentum in the on balance selling, though less dumping right now. So that's better. And it's also losing in the MACD when we're looking at this 15-minute chart. So all looking negative right now. All looking negative, and it could be a short position. And yet it's coming down to historical support and resistance levels that are important. They're huge. And so it's this support line really that I am watching. And wouldn't be surprised for Litecoin to come down and touch this support line a few times before breaking off higher than that. And the only thing we can do is watch these indicators to let us know when they are diverging and showing that that strength is coming in. So tune in here and we'll watch these 3 indicators. This is what I watch on this channel. That's the purpose of it. So that I'm learning these indicators, I'm sharing that stuff, and I'm building up this repository of data so that a year from now, 6 months from now, we can look back and say, here's this day when this chart pattern was happening. What were the indicators actually telling us? What was the story at that time? We can go back and watch this video and learn from how this played out. And we can use that in the future. Use it over and over again. I am Canadian. Are you Canadian too, Dave? Eh? I'm in central Canada, in Winnipeg. And looking to go out west, actually. Winnipeg's beautiful, but I've had enough of the flatland. OMG. Well, I can't wait to get into the alts now and see, are we finding these capitulation lows? We'll tune into that in the next channel. I'll take a break and jump into that in a short time. Thanks again for stopping in. I will do the post-roll music now as soon as I find my thing. There we go. Cheers. Bye for now.